All right, guys, I am here with Ben Goodall down in Australia. Ben, how you doing today, mate?
Really good, mate. How are you?
Good to have you. All right, well, what we wanted to talk about today is the latest on the Rotovelo 2, and we've talked about it with you before, but I know you've had some delays. So let's start out, first of all, if you could remind our audience, what is the Rotovelo 2? How is it different than the original Rotovelo?
Sure. Rotovelo 2 is basically a rework of the original Rotovelo, taking into account some of the technology advances we've had both in moulding and also in construction methods. So we've delayed this long a rework of Rotovelo because the original product is so pure and durable and reliable. We want to stay true to that. So the new Rotovelo is its shell is around about 4 kilo, 5 kilo lighter due to advanced rotomolding technologies that we've developed here in Australia. And with that 5 kilo, we're spending it on features, predominantly suspension and also what would you call it, a above seat steering arrangement, or a steering pillow, if you like, with full size handlebars though. These were probably the two strongest pieces of feedback we've had over the years from the Rotovelo 1.
All right, great. So tell us where you are in the process, because I know you've been working on this for a bit. So how is it going? What do you anticipate in terms of when you might get into production and sales and such?
Yeah, look, as we've said in previous conversations, this has been a real journey, and I wish we were further along with it than we have been. But we're starting to get to the exciting part now. We have done several prototypes, and I'm currently testing what we would call a production prototype, and that is built to the same specification as what we're going to produce for our forward order customers. I'm currently testing, hoping to put about 1,000 kilometres on it over the next couple of weeks. I'm about a third of the way through that process. And so far, so good. Really enjoying riding it. The weather's starting to close in here in Australia at the moment, so we're starting to get some cooler weather, which is great to test the Rotovelo. And I am hoping we can release, some specifications and pricing in the next couple of weeks for that close.
Excellent. All right, let's talk about when this comes along and you're talking about distribution. How do you anticipate that's going to go? Are you working with dealers, or do you anticipate working with dealers around the world for the next Rotovelo? How do you see that going?
Yeah, look, the climate has changed a lot in dealership of automobiles over the last couple of years. We've noticed compared to what it was 10 years ago when we released Rotovelo, and so we're looking for a fresh start here, and we're looking to partner up with some dealers that are actually familiar with automobiles a little more now, and obviously give people an experience. Rotovelo is probably one of those vehicles that just takes you when you actually ride it, as a lot of Trisled designs are. They're really riders machines, and so. We're looking to make deals, Gary. We're looking to see if we can find some people that are actually wanting to work with it.
Okay, well, here's what comes to mind. I know that you have developed a relationship now with Trike Greenspeed, and you are actually selling both Greenspeed and Trike there, if I'm not mistaken. You can tell me about that. Have you had any chats with those boys?
Yeah, we have, and actually, my recent conversations with Marshall said he was going to order 4 container loads of Rotovelo 2 later this year. So feel free to get Marshall from Wheels on and actually talk about where he's going to be putting those 4 container loads and who's going to get them first.
I can't wait to get like a video of Marshall in a Rotovelo. That he'll go crazy with that. I think it's awesome. So good. Well, I didn't know about that, but I thought that would make some really good things.
Yeah, look, we've had some really good conversations about it. The picking up where Ian left off here in Australia with Greenspeed has been a rocky road, and we're finally starting to get the show on the train on the track, the show on the road here with both Wheels and Greenspeed. And the partnership is deepening, and we really would love to see maybe that as a pathway to getting Rotovelo into the US for you guys. However, in the meantime, we have a couple of slots left in our forward order scheme, which are people who basically put their deposit down Tesla style, and we'll get the first production run. And in the interims after that, we'll obviously offer direct sales until we make firm arrangements with any part of the world which doesn't have a dealer, basically. So, yeah.
Okay, so for those people who wouldn't have quick access to a dealer or may have questions, just send an email to Trisled in the meantime?
Yeah, absolutely. There's also a link in our online store to the Fully Order scheme, so you can go in there and just put it's only a $450 Australian deposit. It's more just a pledge of allegiance, if you like, to the idea, and it's refundable, but also just gives us an idea of how serious you are about coming on board with us. And we basically you get the first updates basically. So whenever we have things to announce and things, so our Fully Order customers find out about it first. And then several days later, we obviously put it into our social streams. So yeah, it's we're expecting a little more content, I would say, in the coming weeks on that. We've really had to sort of put the camera down recently and just focus on trying to get through the work here and try to get this prototype to the point where we're happy with it, which we are now, and just try to sharpen our pencils and work out specifications and things for people. So yeah.
Okay, great. All right. Well, I guess the last thing I want to ask you about is what else may be on the drawing board that you feel comfortable talking about at this point. Is there anything else that you guys working at Trisled on that we might need to know about?
Yeah, there's a video in my YouTube channel called Full Suspension Trike, which has had a fairly significant hit rate. So obviously, it must be what people are interested in. The prototype's become my personal ride, and I'm having quite a lot of fun with it. It's a big travel suspension trike, about 120 millimeters. We've got a lot of, I guess, back block kind of rail trails here in Gippsland in Victoria, Australia, and some of these trails are borderline mountain bike trails, but not quite. And so we designed a recumbent essentially, which I guess is the intersection of my two worlds between recumbents and Velmobiles, and I also love my mountain biking. And so this trike's been a lot of fun, and we built two, one for a custom order customer and one obviously for the shop, which I'm currently riding. The plan is to roll the suspension trike out into something production probably late this year. We need to get the Rotovelo work done first to sort of set ourselves that trajectory that we'll get the Rotovelos on the road and get the production happening there, and then we'll pick up where we left off with the full suspension trike. So, yeah. But the racing scene has started off in Australia again as an event this weekend, which my sales crew are attending. I don't
Pedal
know how
Pre.
much
This is Pedal Pre, yes?
Pedal Pre, yep, I beg your pardon. So early days there, everybody's having a very sort of easing in approach. All the racing teams I've spoken to, so I expect it'll be largely social to begin with. There are a couple of older teams that are returning and a couple of new teams which probably are going to use this as an opportunity to sort of just prove themselves. So that could put out a bit of spice. But maybe check out all the normal kind of Pedal Pre streams and see if there's any content in the next couple of months there. So yeah.
That sounds great. Well, then clearly there's a lot going on at Trisled down in Australia there. It is always a treat for me to talk with you. I really appreciate your input on what's going on down there. So we hope to talk to you again real soon and catch up. But Ben Goodall, thank you so much for being on the Laid Back Bike Report again.
Really appreciate your interest, Gary. Thanks, mate.
You bet.